5, 4, 3, 2. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the end of the year Microphone Club. We are back. We're here. It's been a bit since we've been able to record. Christmas, all that stuff. Today's New Year's Eve, so Happy New Year's to everyone that's watching this. I'll try to get this video up today. That would be my goal, but it's a long-ass video at the end of the day. Anyways, we're here. We got a couple year wrap things to talk about. A couple singles we want to get into, and then we're going to first start off with our top 10 albums of the year. Obviously, it was a pretty solid year for music, even outside of albums. Yeah. Although, one thing I did notice when I was doing my list, wasn't a big year for, like, trap albums.
No.
I was trying to look through, I'm like, there was, like, two that made my list.
I mean, with music, like, obviously with the mainstream, you have, like, a pool of artists people kind of listen to, whatever, but, like, music is extremely vast when you kind of dive outside. Like, it's endless. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you actually dive outside of, like, just what's kind of trending, so, but, like, I do see what you mean when, like, because trap is probably the most popular genre, I'd say.
Right now,
probably right now. So, like, when there's not a whole lot going on there, it's pretty noticeable because that is the past 5-6 years, like, that genre has kind of dominated the game. So, but yeah.
No, for sure. So let's get right into the list. Honestly, like, I felt like my list was a little tough to put together just because, like I said, the genre that I gravitate towards the most is trap, and there wasn't a lot of trap albums, so I had to explore a little bit more. And honestly, some of my albums that are in my list aren't albums that I might have, like, had on repeat throughout the whole year. But when I did listen to them, I was like, damn, this is, like, fucking masterful pieces of work. And I didn't... Again, this list is not, like, top 10 consensus albums.
It's just our favorite album.
It's our favorite albums are, like, the ones that we thought, you know, there was a lot of effort put into them. There was a lot of good work put into them. And they just, like... They're really enjoyable at the end of the day. So
it's very subjective before anyone comes like, oh, because it's a very just what we like the most, not, you know.
For example, I'll get into number 10 right now. A lot of people have this album as their album of the year. Sorry, not their album of the year, but a top 5 album. I have Dark Times by Vince Staples at number 10, which was a very solid listen. I actually only got around to listening to it like last week, and honestly, it was very good. Malcolm, I don't know if you got it. I'm sure you got a chance to listen to it. What did you think of it?
I listened to it like when it came out a while ago, like earlier this year. I first listened to it. It didn't like resonate with me that much, but like went back to it and I was like, well, hold on, this is like hidden. And I think the reason why that happens with Vince is that his albums, the past couple albums, have been very different sonically, so you have to adjust to it almost. So like the second, third listen is when it really hits for you. That album isn't in my top 10, but did make my honorable mentions. I'd probably say it's probably like 11 or 12, but it's a fantastic project. Yeah.
And honestly, for this, like, we're not gonna dive too deep into like, otherwise the video would be a fucking hour long. You've heard your favorite creators talk about these albums already, but honestly, I really enjoyed the storytelling on this album. I thought the production was also good. Vince Staples, like, I've literally never listened to any other Vince Staples album, but I heard a lot of people talking about this one. So honestly, very enjoyable. He's a great rapper. And honestly, he's just personable as fuck. So, like, that's why I would have him. That's why I had it at number 10.
Yeah, I will just one more note on this album. It's probably I'm a huge fan of his music, and this is probably his most like introspective album. He's had he's a very introspective rapper just in general. Mm-hmm. But like he had his self-titled project, which was really a reflection of himself. But I feel like this kind of, in my opinion, takes it a step further. I think I prefer the self-titled a little more sonically, but this album kind of, with the constant themes he kind of like dove into, I think he did a better job in this project. But yeah, but huge fan of his music, his whole discography.
Sure. And that album wasn't that. It was pretty concise, which is like, it's always a big positive for me.
But all of his albums are pretty concise. Yeah. Like very, very just that's like his whole thing.
I think this was like 36 minutes or something.
Yeah, that's like his whole thing. He's never really made, maybe except for one album, like he's usually just very like short and to the point. So
it was solid as fuck. But Mal, what was that? Your number 10?
My number 10 was Still Praying by West Side Gun. That was in my number 10 for our album of the year. It came out pretty recently, and honestly, I wasn't, like, I really like, I'm a huge West Side Gun fan, so I'm a little biased. I think I enjoy his music more than most people do, like, especially, like, an album like this, where it's probably lower, and I mean, it's like huge discography, it's probably lower in his discography, but I still think it cracked my top 10. I still have it on repeat, to be honest. Still a lot of songs that I kind of go back to that are in my rotation. I like the production. The features really, I think there weren't too many, but they definitely carried this album for sure. My favorite tracks, my favorite track is Dr. Britt Maker for sure. And then Still Praying, the Posse Cut was phenomenal. Underground King of the Rome Streets, and then Free Shots with, I believe, Conway are just 4 banger tracks, you know. And there's more songs I really enjoyed too. But it does for sure crack my top 10. I was really teetering what if like I'm like even like G and X if I enjoyed it more, but like honestly I enjoyed this a lot more to be honest.
Yeah.
So
Honestly,
yeah.
I was a little underwhelmed by that album. Like, I thought it wasn't anything crazy. I was more excited
Hmm.
going into it. There was an album I have that dropped on the same day as that album that's on my list, which I thought was way
Oh
better.
yeah.
But a little spoiler. But yeah, no, it West Side Gun did that was a classic like West Side Gun type project. So
Yeah.
I didn't think it was bad by any means. It's just like I don't know. I feel like something was missing from it, from like his past projects. I feel like
Hmm.
there wasn't any I wasn't listening to him like I didn't really hear like any crazy like iconic like mosaic type um beats. I think, but the beats, don't get me wrong, the beats were good, but I feel like there was just a little something missing. But still a great album with some classic West Side Gun curation. But let's get into my number 9, which is gonna be Blue Lips by Schoolboy Q. This is an album that a lot of people have as album of the year.
Yeah.
People have Thank God for Me as single of the year. This is a very critically acclaimed album, and Schoolboy Q, he's TDE.
Yeah, he is TDE.
Yeah,
Yes.
TDE had a okay. I guess Kendrick doesn't really count, but they all like didn't
I
say
mean, Kendrick still counts in my opinion. Like you know, with the context, yeah, he still counts.
the collective, I guess. But yeah,
To an extent,
honestly,
yeah.
a very solid album. I don't did it make your honorable mentions, Mal?
It did not make my honorable mentions. I listened to the album quite a bit. I liked it, but I just think these other albums are good. It didn't really, to me personally, it didn't really blow me out the park. I think the main thing was that maybe I do gotta listen to it more, but it's not something I would go to for school. When I was school with music, I like that like more like what's the word, grungy kind of
Yeah,
sound and like that he goes for.
I think
That's what I enjoy Schoolboy Q for.
I
This
think
kind of dives away
yeah,
from that a little.
yeah, and that's
So
why
I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I'd probably have to take more time to adjust to it, which is probably what it is. I've listened to it a couple times though, so I did give it a chance. But maybe one day it'll come back in my rotation. But I don't know, Schoolboy Kid, that grungy like heavy like you know sounds what I really like his music when he when he won for it. I was like, not really feeling it. So, but
I think this is his most accessible album.
yeah,
Like, because you said like
that's the thing. Yeah.
For someone like me who's not really into like the abstract, abrasive,
Mhm.
grungy type production or sound, this album was very
Mhm.
good. He had a lot of like the features were great too, like Absol, Freddie Gibbs,
Mhm.
and Rico Nasty had a really sick feature as well. Obviously, Thank God for Me was a really big standout, and overall, like I can see why people have this album so high. To me, it's not top 5, but it's definitely top 10. So number 9 is where I have Blue Lips by Schoolboy Q. Very,
I mean, I
very
do think
solid.
it's a great album. The production is just like just not what I like from what Schoolboy Q's music. I think he's also he's grown as an artist with looking at this project specifically, but it's just not my cup of tea. But you know,
For sure, yeah.
but still, you know, a decent project. So what my number 9?
Yep.
All right. So my number 9 is Pinball by Mike and Tony Seltzer. He's more. I say he's an underground artist, and I guess in retrospect he is. But then you look at his monthly plays, yeah, he gets over like I think over 1.5 million monthly listeners. So he's not as underground as I like to, as maybe I have to give him credit for. But this album, and what's funny about this album, it came out so early in the year, kind of in March. I forgot it came out this year. When I was looking over like my favorite albums, I skipped over this one because I thought it came out in 2023. And then I went back. I was listening to some songs. Like, wait, this came out in 2024. What the fuck? Because he dropped another project later on. So but this one I remember when it came out around March April. I'm pretty sure I was listening just like fucking for like 2 weeks straight. It's a very good I'm a huge fan of Mike. His whole discography. He's just a really good artist. I do wish he had a little more recognition, but like you know it is. I think he also like that's just his lane. Um, my favorite song is probably On God with Earl Sweatshirt. That song is fucking phenomenal. Underground Kings, Reminiscing, and R&B are some of my favorite tracks as well. This album is it doesn't really deviate from what Mike does usually with his past projects, but it's what I expected this to be good and it was. He's very conscious, very introspective, has a lot of really interesting bars as well, like with certain things he talks about and how he delivers it. That's just what he's really good at, and the production is something I'm a big fan of. It's a little more abstract, obviously, but I'm a really big fan of the abstract kind of beat production and like the more like abstract flows as well, where it's like you know not really rapping on beat, but like still make it work. You know what I mean? That's what I'm a big fan of. So yeah, it's a great project from Mike this year, and he dropped 2 projects. Other one's very good as well, but this one is far and away better in my opinion.
I have nothing to add because obviously I didn't listen to it. There's gonna be points where you're just gonna talk about your album for 2 minutes, and I'm literally not gonna have anything to add. So, but nah, I know you listen to Mike a lot, so you know, I literally have nothing else to add. I'm sorry. All right, so let me get into my number 8. It's gonna be "You Only Die Once" by Freddie Gibbs. So I think this album is not better than a Bandana, a Pinata, or an Alfredo in my opinion, but I think it's still a very solid Freddie Gibbs project. A lot of good, you know, Freddie always barring up, has some of the best flows in hip hop. A decent production I liked. I think one of the best singles of the year is what was it? Cosmo Freestyle, I think. I don't remember what the name of the song was.
I believe that was it was something freestyle. I can't remember if it was.
Yeah, so that and then On the Set was very good as well. 2 amazing songs. Y'all know what you're getting when you enter into a Freddie Gibbs album. You're getting funny bars, the classic coke rap. This is just some classic. Freddie Gibbs is a very good artist to put on when you're doing stuff. You know what I mean? Like I always find that like whenever I'm like cleaning or like just doing homework or doing random shit, I always toss in some Freddie Gibbs because he's very like he's not very in your face about it. It's very chill. It's very relaxed. My only drawback on this album was like the skits and like the weird like I don't really like the skits. I think they took away
interludes. I guess
yeah,
the way to put it, like interludes, intermissions. I guess the way to put it.
Yeah, I'm like I don't really need them. So that, like if those weren't on there and maybe the album was just a little more cleaned up, I think it would have been higher on my list. But there was a lot of good albums this year. And Malachi, if you want to add anything to "You Only Die Once,"
it does make my honorable mentions, but doesn't make my top 10. I like this album a lot, but kind of like what you kind of glossed over, his other projects, especially Pinata, and like when you compare it to his previous work, it doesn't quite compete. I feel a part of that is because this album lacks just features.
Yeah,
and I like when Freddie Gibbs has features because he sometimes has amazing chemistry with certain artists that you don't really get with other artists. And this was more of just his own kind of project. So I was cool with it. I still enjoyed the project. But it doesn't really compare to the previous work, and there's just other albums I prefer over. But still, you know, right? And one thing you point out is he has like funny bars, and it's interesting because like some artists when they do that, it almost sounds corny or it comes off as corny. But Freddie Gibbs can do it in a way where it's like it's not corny, right? It just works. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it, but it's just he's so much better at like making funny things that should be corny, but actually making it work in like as like a bar, like or part of a verse or something. So yeah, but you know, overall, pretty good project, I'd say.
Oh, I thought it was so. But Malachi, what do you have at number 8?
Okay, so my number 8 is "Rich Taxation" by Mac Homie. I freaking adore this project.
Anyway, continue. Yeah.
Anyways, I adore this project. It came out. I'm pretty sure it came out probably sometime like I can't remember exactly when. It might have been the summer, maybe probably a bit earlier.
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with his discography, and he has. I haven't even listened to all of it because his discography is just too big. But a very big fan of the work he's done with like Griselda, like the past couple like years, especially on West AM projects. So I listened to this, and I was just kind of blown away with like a lot of like how his music is not very accessible like at all. Like most people can't listen to it and just expect it to be like good. You kind of have to. It's a very strong acquired taste. But once it hits for you, it really hits. The way he raps and like the flow, it's almost like it's so jarring. But I just enjoy it so much, especially with like type of production he kind of goes for. And this album, I felt like he can also kind of sing. Like he has a couple tracks, and he did it on a couple other projects. I believe it was "Pray for Haiti," where he has a couple of songs where he was like kind of doing more singing, like almost R&B-ish style. And I really enjoy when he does that too. And he can also rap. And his bars I'm not gonna lie, I don't understand some of them. Some of them just don't make any sense to me. I'm like trying to say, okay, what the fuck did he say? But for some reason, it's still hard. Like I can't really explain. When it does make sense, it hits. But sometimes, and then the thing is, you can't even go on Genius. He doesn't like put his songs on Genius for some reason. Like you go, I don't know. Like whenever it's a verse by him, I don't know why. But I don't know. I probably should search up why to be honest, to figure out. But like I don't know. You can never like search up his lyrics. But yeah. And my favorite songs, would be "Pat On," which is that's a similar sample from a song on an album that's in my top 7. "Political," "Holy," and then "Songe." Those are my 4 favorite tracks from this album. Great project, great production, great kind of just experimentation of music. I like this. This is like kind of, it's a very, very like I said, it's not very accessible at all, but this is like definitely my style. Like this kind of music is like my style of music. Something that I'm really like that I really enjoy. It's almost like perfectly kind of encapsulated that. But yeah,
No, I
you
actually,
listen to this project as well.
I did give it a listen. As you said, a little bit jarring. I still enjoyed the project.
Right,
I
yeah.
didn't make my top 10. I listened to it, I think, twice. I ran it back 2 times. It was good.
It is very jarring.
It's
It
very
is. It
good.
is. It is.
My favorite song, I think, is the title track with K
Mm,
Tronado, No 3
mm,
Greedo.
yeah,
Very good song.
that's
This is
that's a great song.
my first time listening to Mac Homie, or Mac Homie.
Well,
How's
solo
it pronounced?
project. Well, yeah, Matt Conley. Yeah,
Yeah,
we know what you're talking about.
yeah,
But well, you've listened before on like Guns projects, but this is your first solo project.
yeah.
You've
First,
listened to.
first time like
Yeah,
really diving
yeah,
into it. Honestly,
yeah.
solid. I like what he's going for. I like how he's trying to stay true to his culture and his heritage, which is very
Yes,
cool.
I love that.
Like
I love
through
that.
his music and also like be like sort of an advocate at the same time, which is
Yeah.
also very very good. So no, it was a solid album. Didn't make my top 10. Maybe if I did a top 20, it might have made it. But a top 20 would have been tough. It's a lot of fucking albums. But nah, it was very solid. So my number 6 is going to be, hold on, let me open it. Let me open it here. I had it. My number 6 is not 6. 7.
Seven.
7. 7.
Yes.
My number 7 is going to be Chromacopia by Tyler the Creator.
Mm.
I don't.
Okay.
Did this make your top 10?
It made my honorable mentions, not my top 10, but it's
I mean,
a very good part.
We did a whole review on this album. There's really not much else to say.
Yes.
It was production wise, it was great. Tyler, different vocal inflections were great. Honestly, there was only like 2 misses on the. I didn't really like Sticky, and I didn't like. Oh, what was that song with Schoolboy Q? I don't remember what it was called.
Oh my god. I can't remember. Is it with an R? I think it started with an R.
I'm opening up. Thought it was dead.
Yeah. There we go.
So those were the only 2. There, it's just like those were hella jarring. For me, maybe I need to just like get better ears. I don't know. But overall, if you guys want to know our thoughts on Chromacopia, you can watch the video. We don't need to dive.
We made a whole
review. We did a whole like 10-minute, 12-minute review on it. It's definitely an album of the year for me. That was a crazy like couple weeks in the music industry where you had like 4 albums dropping.
Okay.
Bro, I literally could not keep up. It was tough. I was getting tired and shit. That shit wasn't good. But yeah, Tyler Creator once again, he's been on an insane run lately. If you go back to was Flower Boy until now, insane run. So very cool, and play Tyler, man. Play Tyler.
Yeah. Yeah, put on some Tyler, bro.
Put on some Tyler, bro. All right, Malachi, what did you have at?
So my number 7, another Griselda project, Conway the Machine with Slant Face Killa. This album, I can't remember when it came out. I was definitely earlier in the year, but I'm trying to just spun it because I'm a huge fan of Conway's music, especially like his project. I believe it was God Don't Make Mistakes. That's one of my favorite Griselda projects. Period. That album is fucking just incredible. And this isn't as good as that project. Don't get me wrong, but I really enjoyed this project. It didn't. I feel like what I liked about this, it didn't try to do too much. Like Conway just kind of like just dropped an album that okay, I'm gonna just rap the way I usually do and just make he didn't really do much experimenting. It was just like a standard Conway the Machine project. He has some pretty good features here and there that did good on their tracks and just good production. Like it wasn't anything out of the ordinary. But sometimes when artists experiment, I'm either gonna love it or sometimes you just really don't like what they're doing. He kind of just stayed in his own lane and just did what he usually does, and I really enjoyed this project. The production was really good. Conway had just like really just insane just flows and like bars and one-liners and stuff like that. There was a song, I can't remember which song, but there was a bunch of features that I think it was which song was it? It was I believe it was Surf and Turf. Or is it one of them? Anyways, that track was phenomenal. My favorite track on this is Vertino. I believe was Joey Badass. That track. So what I mentioned earlier, that Vertino and Podon off of Rich Taxation have like the same sample. It's a very like eerie, like I don't know what it's from, but it's like this eerie almost sound that's like there's just it's like almost like sounds like a whistle, and it goes hard. It's like the exact same sample he used there, and Joey's verse is obviously incredible. But yeah, that's my favorite track of the album. Again, just a standard like Conway the Machine project, and I really enjoyed it. He did his thing and didn't really try to do too much, and yeah, it's a good project.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe an album I'll have to listen to eventually, because I do.
I think you would actually really. I think you would really.
I enjoy Conway and Benny as rappers more than I do Westside Gunn. So I think that'll probably be enjoyable. But again, I think when you're watching or listening to this, if you're here, you're gonna notice there's how many albums came out this year, because our lists are entirely different. Aside from, I know we have one album that's on both of our lists. I know for sure we have one, but other than that, I think it's gonna be like 9 completely different albums, and which is insane given what happened this year. So that'll be certain. And as I segue into what happened this year, my number 6 is gonna be GNX by Kendrick Lamar. Because not a bad segue by me. I'll pat myself on the back there. Very good album by Kendrick Lamar. I don't know what else. We did a whole review on this one too.
We did a review on this one as well, so you can check that out if you want like an in-depth kind of.
But this album's been out for a while, and it was analyzed, critiqued, scrutinized, whatever you want to say, by everyone and their mom. So you have heard this album, you know the good songs, you know the bad songs. I could go in here and tell you what I think. Whacked Out Murals is a fucking unbelievable intro track. I love the energy on that song so much. Whenever I need to get into that timing, I always play that song. And Reincarnated, I think is in fucking, it has a case to be one of Kendrick's best songs. Just the perspective, like writing wise, even though he has an insane amount of well written tracks, of course. Luther with SZA is one of their really good collabs, and it's just I also like he kind of, I don't really like the what's it called, turn the TV off or some shit.
TV off, yeah.
That song's fucking terrible. I'm sorry, it's not good. Maybe I don't like that West Coast production, because Not Like Us is also aged terribly. Like as like sonically, it hasn't aged well.
I agree.
Maybe I think it was a okay diss song, but sonically it's aged bad. Anyways, GNX Kendrick Lamar is my number 6. It's a great album. You guys already know. I don't know if it made your honorable mentions, Mal, but
it did make my honorable mentions, yes, but was not in my top 10. But still, I've still enjoyed that project. It's I don't think it's in my rotation much anymore, but I still go back to it every now and then. Yeah, some songs I really enjoyed. So, my number 6 is again another TDE artist. I have I have 2 Griselda artists so far, and then I think 2 TD artists, but we'll get to that after. My number 6 is Sir with Heavy. This album is just it's more of an R&B kind of style. That's more of an artist that Sir is. I haven't really bumped Sir all that much because one of my favorite projects he released was Chasing Summer, which came out I believe in 2019, and I fucking still love that album, absolutely. But I listened to this and I really enjoyed it, honestly. Like Sir, he really reminded me, like I really forgot that I've listened to him in a while before this album, that how good he is at just singing, how good he is at making music. I really forgot. And this kind of, now I might go back and go through his discography a little more again, but this album had some really good moments that where he's harmonizing really well, and just overall I also really like the style of production that he went for with this. He had a song with, I believe, Isaiah Rashad Karma. That was a great track. There weren't too many features on this project, but I think it worked. He kind of did his, the features worked for when they were needed, but I also feel like the main scope of the album was Sir kind of, putting forth, his best effort, in my opinion. This is a very good project. I think if you haven't listened, you should definitely listen to this. My favorite tracks, however, I would say Only Human is my number one song of this album. No Evil, and The Heavy, and then You. Those are my 4 favorite tracks of this album. Very good project. But overall, I don't have much to say about this, but I just like it a lot. Still in my rotation to this day. It came out. I believe it came out early in the year, back in March. So, yeah. That's all I got to say about that album.
Shit. Again, I got nothing to add, unfortunately. But honestly, you said TDE artists. They've been putting in work. That's what I'll say about that. Fuck. That's that. Everyone thought they had a low key fall off after Kendrick left, but
nah, they've been fine. Nah.
I feel like every kind of collective right now is doing okay.
Yeah, I think so too. I can't think of one that maybe I don't know what you would call Concrete Boys. I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. But even Cardi didn't drop Opium. They've been dropping projects.
Mm.
Jack Boys like Travis Scott, Dante
Maybe
Oliver, David.
maybe like ASAP Mob. I don't know if they haven't really done
That's
shit.
true. Rocky's been fucking. I don't hate him. Dreamville's been doing their thing too. TD's been doing their thing. Like everyone's been pretty. Griselda as well. So
Exactly, just a big year for Griselda. Big couple years for Griselda.
So yeah, everyone's it's a good time right now. Let's get into my number 5. My number 5 is The Crossroads by Cordae. Really fucking sick album. I enjoyed what Cordae did. I remember he put out a tweet that said, before this album came out, he put out a tweet that said, "Yeah, guys, I just listened to my last 2 albums back to back. I'm sorry the second one was much worse than my first one. So I'm gonna lock in for this one." And he did. I thought this was a very, very solid project. He had a very since the last album he's had a kid. He's grown so much as an artist, so he's dove well into his introspective bag. He had a lot of cool tracks with Anderson .Paak. Him and Paak have like a lot of good songs together. And the feature list on this album was fucking nuts. You had Lil Wayne, Anderson .Paak, Juicy J, Ty Dolla $ign, Kanye West, Joey Badass. And insane, like Kanye West, I was like, what the fuck? But you also have one of the best features of the year on this album. It was an earlier single, Saturday Mornings, with Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne went crazy. But overall, decent production on this too. I enjoyed what everyone brought to the table. It's a very solid listen all the way through. I love the introspectiveness of Cordae talking about like his come up, and like there's a song where he talks about like his mom was auditioning for American Idol, and he thought that was just like, oh, they made it just because she was auditioning, but obviously that didn't happen. So, but honestly, the best songs I believe are "Back on the Road" with Lil Wayne, "Summer Job" with Anderson .Paak, and "Bad News" with Kanye was cool, and then Syrup Sandwiches with Joey Badass. Good, very solid Joey Badass feature there. So Crossroads, very solid. Good album, I recommend it.
I did list this project, but I didn't bump it more than once, unfortunately. So I don't have too much to add. Maybe I got to go back to revisit. It didn't really, to me personally, didn't blow me out the water with much. And there was some of that I was a bump at the time. So it's probably unfair. It's an unfair synopsis for me to give of this album. I did listen to it, but just not extensively, kind of in passing. So
I think the issue with this album was it came out at like a time where like Tyler had just dropped, West Side Gun just dropped, Kendrick dropped the next week. So it was like, music
fatigue could have been like a part of the issue, and like so.
I think if you came into it like more refreshed, I think you'd like it more.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, like, I'm not gonna give a review on this. I haven't really given it a solid. Didn't give it a solid chance. Like,
yeah, I can't. It's hard to like review an album after you've only listened to it once, right? So
yeah, it's impossible. You gotta like actually like really listen to it over and over again. So
all right, Mal, what'd you have at number 5?
My number 5 now. From 5 to 1 is where like these albums really hit for me. Like all these albums still probably for the next year, 2025, will be in my rotation for sure. I got King of the Mischievous South 2 by Denzel Curry.
We did do a full review of this on the channel.
We did a full review of this earlier.
Didn't he drop like a side B to it?
Deluxe, yeah. Like basically like a deluxe almost. But this album I just love this album. it kind of, if you're a Denzel Curry fan, this kind of gives you a bit of everything that he does. Like if you like, because Denzel Curry kind of has like that like more like heavy hitting like rap or like hype music that he has, but he also has there's a lane where he kind of does a more like introspective kind of like the conscious rap almost, and then he also has his melodic rap that he does, and this album kind of gives you all of that in one. I honestly, this album like is still in my rotation. Even though I listened to like the kind of side B, essentially the deluxe that he dropped. I honestly just enjoyed and it was loaded with features, and they were all like, I can't really remember one that was I didn't like. One of my favorite tracks is Hoodlums, and that was kind of my introduction to Play That Boy Zay's music. Well, I listened to music before, but like that was like, oh, let me actually now go through his discography. But honestly,
is he gonna be on your list later?
Oh yeah, we'll get to that. But
a little preview.
Yeah, loaded with features. I mean, well, I don't know what else to say.
It was a very feature-heavy project.
Very feature, but like
it worked.
Yeah. Oh, it worked for sure. My favorite tracks. My favorite track was actually was on the deluxe, and was Got Me Geeked. There was no features, just Denzel Curry, kind of just. It was very melodic, so I fucking adore this song. Hit the Floor with Ski Mask, Hoodlums, which was kind of like a posse cut. I believe you had Play That Boy, ASAP Rocky, and there was one other person on that track. Who was on the Hoodlums? Oh no, sorry, it was just them three. I thought there was one person. Nope, just them. And then fed it with Maxo cream. But those,
Shout out Maxo Cream, bro. Shout out Maxo Cream.
Shout out
Maxo Cream. That's my fucking guy, bro. Shout out Maxo Cream. What is he?
Oh yeah, honest.
Houston legend, Maxo Cream.
Oh, but yeah, this album just I don't know what else to say. Like we did a full review on this. You want to check that out too? You want to see other thoughts we had on this? But great production, great just a great album just put together, man. Everything I know you get a bit of everything. If you like Denzel's like other assets of Denzel, you get a bit of everything with this, right? I think you mostly get like the hype shit. Most of the songs episode were pretty like hype and like just like not too much thought going into it, but just like you kind of bump your head. But he did do a bit of everything. So if you haven't checked it out, you should check it out. Big fan of this spot. Big fan of Denzel Curry. Shout out Denzel, man. Yeah.
No, that was like you pretty much covered it. To be honest, I got nothing else to say. If you're interested in what I did have to say, just check the album review that we did. But it was solid. Like, very enjoyable project from Zell. All right. We're going through this at a good pace, which is good. We're only at 30 minutes of recording, and we only have 4 albums each left. Number 4 is gonna be from my guy, Logic, Ultra 85. What a fucking amazing project. I don't know if this cracked your list or was in your top.
It was our mentions, but was on.
This album was I think it honestly could have been higher. I'm also like I enjoy Logic's music a lot, so that might have been the reason why it was so high. I think a lot of people were. I don't think a lot of people were underwhelmed by like the sonic part of it, like the actual music. I think people were underwhelmed by the concept of it, because people thought it was gonna be this like grand, like culminating album to Logic's storyline, but it was a prequel, which was a little unexpected, I think, from people. But honestly,
definitely, I didn't expect that, to be honest. But I mean, it didn't really affect how I listened to it.
No, of course. But if you dive into the music itself, this is some of Logic's. I think him and Six, low key, I want to say underrated fucking producers, man. Holy shit! You listen to these fucking albums. The song fucking "Ghost in the Machine." That's one of the best beats like of the year. Even the intro track, Paul Rodriguez is fucking great. He redid "Fade Away" with Deja Vu and DJ Drama. Favela was fucking sick. This was just even Antidote with Z Loopers. I fucking love that song. I think that song's sick. A lot of people don't like it. But I think it's sick.
Did you like it? I thought you didn't like it at first.
I didn't love the Z Loopers part. I don't think it's the best thing ever. But it's the most like trap Bobby Tarantino type song we got on this album, which is why I liked it a lot. So honestly, if you guys have time, if you want a very nice, it's just a nice listen. I don't know what else to say. It's very nice. I listened to it again. I was doing some reorganizing in my room, and I ran through the whole album again. It's just so good. Logic did really good. I know Logic is one of the most polarizing discographies in hip hop. You have some classics, some 0 out of 10s, but this album is very, very, very good. It's a very good listen. Malachi, if you have anything to add, go for it.
Yeah, we also did do a review on this one. You can go check that out. We broke it down.
Yes.
Wow, it was like one of our first videos, I believe.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
It was. That was before we were recording album reviews in like separate segments. That was. It's just It's just like in the middle of the podcast. So yeah.
Yeah. But I honestly really enjoyed this project. It reason why I enjoyed it so much, my favorite Logic project will probably forever be The Incredible True Story. And this, to be honest, really it really just had so much flashes of that album, right? Just like the concept, how he kind of approached the music. It reminded me of that. It was almost like nostalgia, you know. Mm-hmm. I think the music was great too. I think Logic kind of, he had a lot of interesting features as well. Like I actually really enjoyed that track with Zay Loopers. That was one of my favorite tracks probably off the album. So, but yeah, like I said, we did a full breakdown of this. You can go check that out. Overall, good project. It is in my honorable mentions though, but unfortunately, not quite top 10, but is there probably like 15.
Like 15, yeah.
Probably like 15, yeah.
I thought it was a sick project. But what do you have at number 4, Mal?
All right. So my number 4. Now this is a lesser known artist, and I just discovered him pretty like 2-3 months ago. I have Spook and Sadhu Gold with Hell on Wheels.
Jesus Christ.
So
how fucking underground can you get, man? Jeez.
Okay, Sadhu Gold actually is like I don't want to say the executive producer, but he's worked a lot with Griselda. He's not like super well known, but he's done a lot of projects.
Mal, do you like Griselda?
I like Griselda quite a little bit. Anyway, so I saw so I found I came across it got honestly I listened to this project. The only how I found it was I was going through Sadu Gold's discography, and then they had like a collab on, but he like didn't rap on this. It was just he like executive produced it. It's like it came out this year, which is good because we can potentially add to my albums a year. I checked it out, and I was absolutely just blown away by this album. I have no idea. This is my first ever album listening to Spook. Don't even knew nothing about him ever. Don't even know like what. Didn't even listen to other music like his other albums. But I was just like, whoa. The rapping, the storytelling is just unbelievable, unbelievable. I was really that's the main that blew me away. Like the flows, the production was very good too, but it wasn't like anything like super spectacular. It was just like the way his delivery, his lines, the I don't want to say the concept. I don't think he had any super like interesting concepts, but it was just like the storytelling. Like this one was like a lot of just heavy storytelling, and I was like really just like blown away by how well he was able to do it. Like the music sounds good, but it's also like he's telling like a story. I don't know. It was such an interesting like album to listen to. It was my first ever listen, so I had no idea what to expect. And I was like, whoa, maybe that's why I liked so much because I was like I had no expectations and was just like, whoa, who even is this? I have no idea who this guy is. But I'm familiar with Sadu Gold. He executive produces and did a phenomenal job. My favorite songs would be Boss Nigga Chronicles, Murder in the Monsoon. That's
wait. Is BNC?
Is BNC?
Yo, what the fuck?
Murder in the Monsoon and Mysteries of the Frontier, and then the Holster Bros. Those are my 4 favorite tracks. If you look, I've never heard of this guy until I listened to this project. But I'm now, I'm like kind of hooked now.
Hey, like, man, number 3 is a fucking huge thing to give him. So,
wait, yeah, number 4.
Number 4, yeah, fuck.
I still listen to a lot of the songs. Like I don't even like I don't even skip them really. I'm just listening. I'm like the song it goes by pretty quickly, and it's a pretty concise. There's a lot of tracks, but it's still a pretty concise album. And if I'm gonna go through the track list real quick. I don't remember there being a whole lot of like features. There were a couple, but for most part it was just kind of him rapping. Yeah, let me see here. Yeah, 2024 album. Yeah, there weren't like too many features. It was like I can only see like 2 or 3, but overall like just and then there were also this album was also like skit heavy. There were like a couple of skits and like interludes, kind of intermissions that he kind of put on. But overall, like honestly, if you haven't heard of this, which you probably haven't, you should definitely check out this album. I personally, if you like conscious rap, there's no way you don't like this album. In my opinion, if you like just like that conscious like just rapping, you're probably like this album quite a bit. So that's my number 4 for album of the year.
Number 3, Mal, I think it's higher on your list. For me, so we'll talk about it later. It's gonna be that Doechii album, Alligator Bites.
Oh yeah. Oh. Okay.
I listened to it. I actually didn't listen to it until recently, like 3-4 days ago. But wow, is it ever good? Wow, is it ever good? I won't dive into it too much because we'll have a space to talk about it later for you. But I will quickly say the mix of singing and rapping and good production, insanely good. A short album, concise. I think short and concise, good albums is what can propel you to being a great fucking artist. She's making waves. They're pushing her heavily. They're saying they're shoving her down our throats. I don't really feel that.
Yeah,
it's good. It's good music. I feel like it's different when it's like Ice Spice and it's trash, and then you're saying like, no, this is.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's good. It's good. It's like genuinely good music.
Right.
People are just getting mad. People are like, oh, industry. Like, what do you mean?
I don't know. I don't know. It's very good. I'll let you talk because I know you're super on this album, so I'm gonna let you take the stage once you say where it is. I think I know where it is. The viewers might know where it is by now. But
probably not.
Number 3 is Doechii, Alligator Bites, Never Heal.
Yeah. Right.
Malachi, what's your number 3?
My number 3, one of your favorite artists. We got JPEG Mafia with "I Lay Down My Life for You."
Hold on. Let's relax. It was one tweet. It was one tweet.
Okay.
Bro,
anyway.
Also, before you get into this, is the most like abstract album I've ever fucking heard. Dude, that shit was. I listened to it and I'm like, I can understand why people would like it, but it's not for me.
Okay, like which album was it? I'm talking about. I think Mac Homie's album. That's very like abstract. It's very hard to get into, but you can't. But like with enough time, you'll okay this. But like JPEG Mafia's music just as a whole is like it takes that jarringness to a next level. To and like that's why I enjoy it. I've experimented enough with like listening to music where it's like that's how I can like enjoy shit like this. But like this is like not accessible at all, and which is so funny because I do think this is actually probably his most accessible album. I actually this is probably his most accessible album. I'm not even joking when I say that. But when I listened to this album, it came out. I believe it came out like a couple of months ago.
Also, can I say one of the hardest covers plus names of an album this year? That part was sick. I can't lie. So we did good on that. That would have got a high rating for me if we did an in-depth review on it. It was sick. But yeah, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, this like I'm a big fan of JPEG's discography like as a whole. Before I even got into this, and this he wasn't like my top 10 artist, but this honestly probably like this album probably put him in like my top 15, top 10 artists to be honest. Like I enjoyed this album thoroughly. It's I like the like when artists my favorite genre, I don't know what you would call it, but like that not it's not just it's like it's almost like a substantive abstract where it's like almost aggressive hip hop where like they're like they're like being very like it's like hype but it's like very aggressive. I'm a big fan of that. I don't know why. It like for some people you might pull it like play it and like, bro, this shit's ass. But for some reason I just like it a lot. And you'll see that more with my number 2 on this list. But yeah, I was just blown away by this album. The feature like there wasn't a lot of features, but they were like they did their job perfect. Like Vince Staples on New Black History was a 10 out of 10 feature. And then JPEG Ultra is just Denzel Curry is just a phenomenal. JPEG and Denzel, whenever they get in the studio together, they put out something just unbelievable every single time. Like they haven't missed yet. I would if they ever dropped a collab album, I think it would probably fucking be amazing. He dropped a collab album with Danny Brown last year, and I listened to that actually pretty recently.
Don't Scare the Hoes or whatever the fuck it was called.
Yeah, was Scaring the Hoes? I think it was called
Scaring the Hoes. Yeah.
Yeah, that album's incredible too. Like these are probably neck and neck in terms of how much I like them, but obviously that one came out 2023. So I'm not gonna make this list. But yeah, just like he just is just is such a jarring artist, but I like jarring music, so I honestly love this album. If you haven't listened to it, you should. My favorite track is either On or Off the Drugs. That song I still listen to earlier today. Just I love that song so much. The beat switch, everything is.
A lot of people love that one from that album.
Yeah,
and that's like one of the standouts for sure.
Yeah, Jihad Joe, Don't Rely on Other Men. Jihad, I don't know how you pronounce that.
No, I'm saying what? That's a fucking crazy fucking title. Jihad Joe.
And then we had Don't Rely on Other Men, and JPEG Ultra.
Yo.
He has his song titles are so random. Like I don't get it. But like sometimes like you listen to songs, what the fuck is this? You listen, oh shit, this is fucking hard as fuck. But yeah, this is honestly incredible album. Again, like I said, if you're not familiar with Denzel's music, or not Denzel, sorry, if you're not familiar with JPEG music, you might not like this album. You might think this shit like it's like you're hearing. It's almost like you think like your headphones are like broken, like your legs are like
spinning, bro. Like that shit's crazy.
But honestly, I love this project and shout out JPEG, with great album, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Amen. All right, my number 2 is gonna be, we're finally into the trap albums. That's why they were so high. Number 2 is gonna be Don Toliver's Hearthstone Psycho. This album was very surprising. It was a mix of like the rock rap thing that a lot of artists are doing now. I saw him do a set for this album live in concert. Holy fuck, that shit made it shoot up the list because that shit made the album sound so much better to me. Obviously, Tore Up is one of the biggest songs of the year. Everyone fucking knows that song. A lot of heavy guitar influence. And when you go to see Don Toliver is he's kind of separated himself from the Travis Scott sound. But like when you go to see like his performances and Raws and stuff, you can see where he still gets the Travis Scott influence, which is why I enjoyed this album so much. Also, Travis Scott had 2 features on this album with Embarrassed and Inside, 2 very good songs. There was a song with Kodak Black called Brotherstone. Holy fuck, that's one of Kodak's best performances I've ever heard in my life. He fucking locked in for that shit. which was crazy. Kryptonite, the album starts off fucking great. Bandit with the Kevin Parker sample, that shit was fucking sick. Honestly, a very good listen. 4x4 new drop. Honestly, there's not a lot of bad things I can say about this album. It's very good, very mainstream. I'm a mainstream listener. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm not. You see my list. You see my all kinds of list. That's how we differ. That's what makes the show so great. So Don Toliver, Hearthstone Psycho. Number 2, if you haven't listened to it, give it a listen. It's not a hard listen at all, like JPEG's album was gonna be. So definitely give that one a shot. Very good aux music, car music, that kind of stuff. So very good album.
All right, so now we get to my number 2, and we got Play That Boy Zay with Vampires Impersonating People. This I don't even know where to begin with this project. It's okay. I will say, similar to JPEG, incredibly jarring, and yeah, like it's just experimental as fuck. You're probably like most people listening is probably like, what the fuck is this, right? And I thought, like if 10 years, like or 3-4 years ago, I would never listen to shit like this. But now it just like hits for some. I can't even explain why. It just hits for me. This style of music, that like aggressive kind of rap. I discovered Playboy a couple years ago because he's done a lot of like a couple of songs with Denzel Curry. One song I really liked was, I think it was Pat off of Zoo, and he had like a really nice feature on that. And then he was on Hoodlums on Denzel's project this year, and I really liked his kind of verse on that. So and then I see him. Oh, he's announcing it now. He dropped a single with, I believe, with Kenny Mason. He dropped a single with Kenny Mason. I love that song. And then he announced, okay, he's dropping an album. I was like, hey, cool. I'm gonna actually get to listen, like, see what kind of like his discography, kind of like what kind of music he makes as when curating a whole project. And I listened to the project, and I was honestly genuinely blown away by it. Like first listen, I was like, whoa, this is like my type of music, just in every asset, right? It's very like I said, it's very hard to get into, but he just kind of has like the production is so interesting. The direction production he goes for, the type of shit he like raps over, but he like makes it work so well, and he doesn't really like. He almost has like a bit of like the Playboi Carti in him, like that, like just like doing like certain ad libs and like, but like just saying the same word over and over again. But it works. It works so well. Like you just be like you just say like a brand word like bitch, or like say over and over again. But like and there were a couple features on this project. There weren't too many, but there were a couple features. Like Kenny Mason had a. Oh my god, I'm a huge Kenny Mason fan. If you don't know that already, he had a really good feature. JPEG Mafia had a great feature on this as well. Overall, and also Hoodlums was on this album too. It was on both Denzel's album and this one, so I guess that counts towards this album too, even though I listened to it before. But yeah, my favorite tracks, Beauty and Pain, is just I bump that song at least once a day, at least 1 to like 5 times a day. Shooter, the intro track, I believe, Villain, and then Fight, so this is like a deluxe. So the original album was called VIP. I thought it just was like VIP, right? Whatever that but then he done the deluxe, but like it's like vampires impersonating people, and then it's like he changed the thing to like a red album cover. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. I don't know what the fuck his symbolism is there, but Fight was on that. He released on his Instagram story, and then I was like, okay, this shit is fine. I hope he releases it. And then a week later, he drops the deluxe, and the song's on it. So I'm like, okay, yeah, this song is gonna make it. So yeah, those are my top 4 songs.
We are leaving Instagram songs in 2024. Please stop. God.
I agree.
Please stop. Anyway. All right, man. It's been almost an hour. Number 1 for me, easily number 1. This album was number 1 when it came out.
Wait, whoa. Do you want to do our honorable mentions first?
I don't have any.
You don't have? Okay, well, I mean, my honorable mentions, I top most of them. I'll just quickly go over it. GNX, Kendrick Lamar, Overcast, Cast Got Wings, Mavi with Shadowbox, Tyler with Chromacopia, Messiah with The Villain Wins, Logic, Ultra 85, and then Vince Staples with Dark Times. And then also J. Cole might delete later. Like, I actually like that album. We can maybe get into that another day, but I actually really enjoy that album. When I actually sat down and listened to it, I was like, hey, this is a very good J. Cole project. Honestly, genuinely.
I don't give a fuck.
One of his better albums, actually. I really do think so.
I think something that's tragic is that Malachi didn't have my number 1 on his list or in his honorable mentions. It was arguably the biggest album of the year. It sparked the biggest event of the year. It had insane features, insane production. Some of the best beats you've heard this year. One of the most hype albums of the year. My number one. My
Marshall
number
Mathers
one.
is it Death of Slim Shady?
No, it's not. Honorable
Oh,
mention though. That would have been 11. That would have been 11.
like 12. I mean, like it's pretty
My
good.
number one is obviously "We Don't Trust You" by Metro Boomin and Future.
Okay, wow.
What a fucking amazing project! Oh my god, the best. Future dropped 3 albums this year, and this one was far and away the best one. It was not even close. Obviously, we had Like That with Kendrick Lamar, sparked the biggest event that we had in years in the industry. You had Type Shit with Travis Scott and Playboi Carti. Amazing fucking song. The Weeknd had his fingers all over this album as well. Metro was going crazy on production. Future did his thing, bringing the classic with songs like Claustrophobic. Fried She Vibe was good. Ice Attack. The intro title track was fucking amazing. Oh my god, Travis Scott went crazy on Type Shit. He went crazy on Cinderella. Rick Ross on Everyday Hustle with the Soul Sample. Who puts Future over a Soul Sample? Who the fuck does that? He barred up. Amazing fucking album. This album, right when I heard it, I knew it was gonna be number one. It's not close. The fact that you don't have it on your list is fucking crazy.
I listened to it. I just, it was cool. It was cool. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. It was cool. That's all I gotta say about it. You know, I don't have anything else to like add. Like that's how I feel.
Fuck you.
It's cool. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know, I mean, you're right with the whole like this album kind of like changed history. It did, indirectly or directly, or whatever you want to say. It changed history, like hip hop history with Like That. So, you know, yeah, this album will be remembered for a long time.
And don't forget, man, we also got Yo Dot, I Got You from this album. So where would we be?
Yeah, you know what? This album has some definitely has some iconic moments for sure. I enjoyed it. Just, you know, other albums I like more, but that's it. You know.
Not even your honorable mentions is crazy. I'm sorry. That's crazy. That's crazy. If you did a top 20, it probably wouldn't even make it, which is nuts.
No, I'd be on top 25.
That's not what I said.
But you said if I did a top 20?
Yeah.
But I'm saying it'd be my top 25. Yeah,
just say your number one. I already know what it is. Just go.
All right, well, so my number one album is Doechii with Alligator Bites Never Heal.
It wasn't the Ice Spice album?
She dropped an album. She had an album this year?
Yeah, bro. You told me you had a number one.
No.
Don't lie.
Like, I had it in my own, but I had to like delete it. I was like, I can't like gang. I was bumping Ice Spice, bro. Nothing wrong with Ice Spice.
Bro, you know there's a Travis Scott feature on it?
Is there actually?
Yeah, there is. Oh god, there is.
Wait, hold on, I have to bump it. Hold on. All right, anyways, my favorite album of 2024 is Doechii, Alligator Bites Never Heal. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start. I'm not like, so similar to like with Spook. Wasn't really familiar with this artist at all. I mean, I was a little familiar with Doechii. She was on Isaiah Rashad's House is Burning. Like, it was just a feature. You know, so it wasn't really super memorable, but you know, I was like, okay, this is cool. And I saw like, I knew she was an artist. I didn't really listen to music. I saw a lot of people were saying, hell, like on hip hop Twitter, they're like, this album's incredible, whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. I never really sparked me to check it out. But one day I was like, you know what? Let me check it out. And I was just absolutely blown away. This album's a masterpiece in every way. Like, it's just, there's just, what I love about this album is she's a phenomenal rapper, like phenomenal, like she's really good at rapping, but she can also, when she wants to sing, she can get in her bag and sing, and it's good. It's really good. You know, this, and also like there's some of the beats. I know she didn't really produce much of that. She had other people. She had worked with other producers, obviously, but her ear for beats is just incredible. Like you know, with the direction they went sonically, I was just like blown away. My favorite song of the year is Slide. I love that track. Like, I've listened to it a fucking million times. It's just, she could sing. She could really sing. And it's just like, almost like I don't know how to explain it. Like, she just, like, the way she was able to, like she could rap. She had, like, really good concepts that she went with, like, with her, you know, some of the tracks as well. And she's also a pretty decent storyteller. Like, she has some songs she was talking about, like, her relationship with God and, like, her relationship with, like, you know, drugs and, like, using, you know, and you know, using drugs as, like, as like escapism, and, like, you know, and how that affected her, where it's like, you know, she wasn't really dealing with certain problems. She was just, like, putting like, masking it with, like, with drugs, and then, like, you know, continuing to live her life, and then she knew she had to, like, you know, break out of that, you know, and, like, her relationship with just, like, women and men as well, like romantic relationships she talked about quite a bit. This was just a phenomenal project. I'm I'm really glad I took the time to listen to this, man. I saw people posting about it, but people post albums like, oh yeah, this album's great all the time. But I was like, hey, let me check it out, and I was just absolutely just taking it back. My favorite track, like I said, Slide. Probably my favorite song of the year. Fireflies, Wait, and the outro track, which isn't even like there's no rapping on that outro track. It's just an instrumental, but
it was
just
fire. It was fire.
It's so fire.
I was listening to her. I was like, wait. I was like,
yo,
I didn't book. No one was rapping.
Yeah, no one. There was no rapping on this song or any like verse, nothing. It was just fire. Just like such a nice instrumental, So, shout out Doechii. She dropped just like she honestly she had a great year. I would say more, I don't know if it was like the entire, but like at least like I saw more of like her being post like the back half of the year. Shout out Doechii, man. You had a really good 2024 rookie year. Doechii, So, I'm really I even started diving into other songs, discography, and I really enjoy them as well. So, we'll see what's in store for this year or in 2025. So, a phenomenal year for her. Phenomenal year for TDE. I mean, how many TDE albums was in our top 10s? Like, you had GNX. I had Schoolboy Q's album. And then Doechii, and then I had Sir. So that's like 4 between the two of us. So, damn.
And honestly, I feel like if you listen to a Q album or a Vince Staples album enough, it could move into your top 10.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So it's crazy. Even at GNX, probably like for you, like if we very well could have had 4 each. Maybe I wouldn't have had Sir, but we could have had 3 each, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So that is our top 10 list. So of the year 2024. Malachi, quickly just go 10 to 1. Just count it down. So
number 10, I had Still Praying by Westside Gunn. Number 9, I had Pinball by Mike and Tony Seltzer. Number 8, I had Rich Taxation by Mac Homie. Number 7 was Slant Face Killer by Conway the Machine. Number 6 was Heavy by Sir. Number 5 was Denzel Curry with King of the Mischievous South 2. Number 4 was Spook and Sadu Gold with Hell on Wheels. Number 3 was I Lay Down My Life for You by JPEG Mafia. Number 2 was Vampires Impersonating People by Play That Boy Zay. And then number 1 was Doechii with Alligator Bites Never Heal.
All right, so my number 10 was Vince Staples, Dark Times. Number 9, Schoolboy Q, Blue Lips. Number 8, Freddie Gibbs, You Only Die Once. Number 7, Tyler Creator, Chromacopia. Number 6, Kendrick Lamar, GNX. Number 5, Corday, The Crossroads. Number 4, Logic, Ultra 85. Number 3, the only album me and Mal both had on our list, Doechii, Alligator Bites Never Heal. Number 2, Don Toliver, Hearthstone Cycle. Number 1, We Don't Trust You by Metro Boomin. And
That's actually kind of wild that we only have one. I like that's actually wild.
I know.
I didn't even think of that. We have one album is great. It's a top 10 list. I think if it was a top 15 or 20, we would
you would have way more similar.
Yeah, if it was like, but yeah, that's actually kind of wild to think about.
Because four of your honorable mentions made my list. So
yeah, because I had GNX and I had Chromacopia and a lot and
and the Gibbs album. That's literally.
Oh 4. And Vince Staples.
Yeah, you had like 5 of your honorable mentions made my list. So, like, if you reworked your list a little, you might have had 5. Bro, you could have had 5 of the same albums. Like, you could have. So, anyway, we're at an hour. So, quickly before we get out of here, thanks for a great year. I will say
it has been an awesome year, man.
The videos have been doing all right, considering we just started up in like June or a little earlier than that. So, it's been a lot of fun. We've done virtually. We've done different rooms in my house. We moved the table left and right. We've sat on the couch. We sat on two chairs. We've used a webcam. We used a ring light. We've used all that stuff. It's been fun. It's been interesting. And so for 2025, the goal is to use our socials more. We have a Twitter now or an X at TMC Podcast X on X, of course. Instagram may be in the works. Maybe we'll post more to TikTok, but YouTube is gonna be where the content mainly lives. So. For me, for Malachi, for everyone, with just us two, thank you guys so much for a great year. We're looking forward to more in 2025. We got, hopefully, a lot of good music coming out. It already looks like Westside Gunn already announced a project coming out. But, Malachi, anything quickly you want to say before I press stop recording?
Yeah, I mean, it was, this reboot has been a lot of fun. I mean, if you were one of the OGs, you know about, the Microphone Club on Spotify, when we would make videos, stuff like that. There was a different era. Like, we were a lot young. We were like 17 back then, 17, 18 back then. We're, we're about to be 22, So, it's a lot of we've grown a lot as people. Our lives have changed quite a bit, and now we're here again with like a new thought process, talking about music and even like some other pop culture things. Like I know we probably might when Invincible comes out, maybe we'll like have some like a mic check where we talk
Separate
about
content for that,
yeah. So and just in general, there's a lot of other media coming out like aside from music next year that we might discuss a little bit. So, but yeah, thank you all for just tuning in. For those of you that have, and yeah, the socials thing, we'll definitely get that going more, especially like the Twitter. Like that's gonna be like we're both
easy.
pretty active on. We're both, if you know us at all, we're both pretty active on Twitter. So
I love Twitter, man.
Yeah. Shout out all of you that show any support. A lot of
people shout out to the fucking Pride Rock Discord.
Shout out.
Those are our
yeah. Shout out. Yeah. Shout out to the Pride Rock Discord server. If you know, you know.
If you don't know, you'll never know.
But I hope y'all, if anyone go out for New Year's Eve, y'all be safe, have a good time.
Please don't drink and drive. Fuck.
No drinking and driving, please.
Spend money on the Uber. It's cheaper than a DUI.
Yes, absolutely. And but other than that, hope for everyone has a blessed year, and we're all able to have a good time.
I'm wishing everyone the healthiest of 2025s. I think being healthy is underrated. I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Underappreciated. But guys, thank you so much again. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share if you guys like the video. Anyways, for me, from Malachi again, be safe tonight. It's New Year's. Be careful and enjoy the new year. Enjoy your time off. Peace out, everyone.
Peace out.